What a day to be a Catholic. I see a lot of people on social media. I think the technical term would be freaking out over the Motu Proprio by Pope Francis. Um, let's say greatly restricting the traditional Latin Mass. Now, I'm not going to go into my personal opinion of his motivations for doing so. I don't think it's relevant. But regardless of what is going on behind the scenes, I think that it really should be a moment for great rejoicing, in a sense. You know, I find it a great honor to live in such a time, to be called to be warriors, to be called to holiness, to be called to suffer with Christ this, what I believe is the beginning of, if not the, definitely a great chastisement of our time. And I see so many people already despairing and talking about going to war with the Pope and all these things. It's like, guys, what on earth are you doing? You're falling for the trap. You're doing exactly what the devil wants. This is a time for obedience, but resistance, of course. But a time to resist licitly and not fall into the trap of schism. God is in control. The devil has revealed his hand. Whoop-de-doo. God is in control. All we have to do is fight. And we fight with prayer and with example, by being saints, or at least striving to be saints. I am unbelievably encouraged and joyful to live in such times. I am excited. I feel I'm excited in anticipation to the fight. All I feel is like, bring it on. I think that what this is going to do um, is that it's going to air out the pestilence in the church. I think that the evil bishops, those of the bishops who are evil, to clarify the point, are we're going to know who they are, exactly who they are. And so we'll be able to take action. We'll be able to drain their coffers, empty their coffers, not support them. There are licit, saintly ways that we can resist and that we can fight. Prayer and personal holiness being the most important one. But there are other ways, real strategy that we can apply in this situation. And so I think they overplayed their hand. I think that they are now completely exposed. And so, thanks be to God, now we know what to do. So rejoice, have peace. For those of you who have no idea what on earth I'm talking about, as I said, Pope Francis released a Motu Proprio, which is, roughly speaking, an executive order from the directly from the Pope himself, um, greatly restricting the Latin Mass. And it seems that with the goal of really eliminating it. Although an argument could be made that maybe what he wants is a reform of the new rite of the Mass. So maybe he's trying to unify both rites, the traditional Latin rite and the Novus Ordo, into uh, making one out of both of them. Now, again, I don't know what the motivations are. I don't really care. Um, or I should say, I don't care to speculate. I just don't know. Um, I think it's a bad idea. I think it's going to have catastrophic consequences. But again, and this is why I call it a chastisement. But all chastisements are graces being poured out into the world. God's hand of justice is right next to his hand of mercy. All chastisement ultimately is grace. It's God's love being poured out into the world. Have peace. Be calm. You're going to be tempted. And in fact, it's more than tempted. I think they're provoking you. They're trying to provoke you into schism. They're trying to provoke you into leaving the church. They're trying to provoke you into anger. Don't do it. Don't fall for the trap. It's too easy. See behind it. Remember, I always go back to saints that have been persecuted by the church, like Saint Padre Pio. And I remember that even when he was persecuted, even when he had his faculties taken away from him for a time, he remained obedient. He remained faithful. And it was his personal holiness that ultimately converted the bishop who took away his faculties in the first place. That is our job. Our job is not to become Protestants or to become Eastern Orthodox or to leave the church. For what? To whom shall we go? You have words of eternal life, right? Well, to whom shall we go? This is the church Christ instituted. Where are we going to go? So what we need to do is to do what we can to reform the church from within, to pray, to fight, to be astute, to be smart, to see the enemy for what it is, and to deal with it accordingly. Acting as if everything depends on us, trusting like everything depends on God. That's our job. So rejoice. These are good times to be alive. These are good times to do our best to respond to God's call and to be saints and to be cheerful and to know that God is in control. We've already won the war. We have to make sure that with our faithfulness, we can also win this fight and fight for souls here and now. So rejoice.